Hello everybody and welcome to Purple Table Tarot. My name is Robin and we will be doing a pick a pile reading today. I'll introduce the piles in just a moment, and first I'll cleanse the space and the cards with some frankincense. I really felt the call to do a very watery type, I don't know, I want to say oceanic reading. Yeah, I got this new deck from Jen Sankey. It's called Stardust Wanderer Tarot, and I'll be using that. I think I'll be using this more to clarify because I haven't worked with it too much yet, but it's really, really cool. And then I have the Morgan Greer. So what we're going to do is we'll do pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. And today we are going to be doing just whatever comes out, because I've come to discover that when I do my shorts that I often run out of time, and I really want to expand on a lot of those little readings. You only get a minute, so we're going to do that today and it should be fun. Okay, so pile number 1, you have a Labradorite sea turtle. Labradorite sea turtle. That's pile number 1. Pile number 2, we have a Labradorite star. I thought this was really cool. We are in Aquarius season, and I know Aquarius is a water, or no, it's an air sign, but it's the water bearer, and it is connected to the star card. There's a Labradorite star for pile number 2. Okay, pile number 3, you have the Labradorite octopus. I love this, it's so cool. Very cool looking. So that's pile number 3. Okay, so go on ahead and pick your pile, and I will see you at your reading. Hello, pile number 1. Okay, so let's get started. Like I said, we're going to be doing whatever comes out, okay? And so I will start off the reading by inviting Spirit in with so much gratitude and respect to request a message for pile number 1. For this reading, what do they need to know at this time for their greatest and highest good, Spirit? Please and thank you. King of Pentacles, 5 of Swords, and the 6 of Swords, okay? Bottom of the deck energy is Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so this very well could be, and I'll pull some more cards as we go, okay? So that's how I'll be doing these readings. I'll be reading the very first few cards and then I'll continue on there. So what I'm seeing here is you had some sort of goal or long-term vision, something you had been working towards for a long time, okay? There was, and you were doing it with a, you were really taking your time, let's just say that, okay? But I feel like there was some conflict, and I don't know what the situation was, but there was some conflict with regard to this this vision or this plan or this idea. And you know, you very well could have been dragging your feet a bit because there could have been a part of you that wasn't entirely fully sure. That may or may not resonate, just take what does. But given that the Five of Swords is here, this can indicate internal struggle. Always with the fives, it's like the Five of Swords and the Five of Wands, it's like it can be internal or it can be external with a group or another person, okay? Now, with the Five of Swords, there's some conflict. I get the sense that you were feeling stymied, or there just wasn't something that you were able to, like, access in yourself in order to level up. And so I feel like moving forward, like going from the Five to the Six of Swords, that's your idea of like, okay, well, I've just kind of been going at this very slow pace for quite some time. And we'll clarify this one, but I feel like if you are going to be moving forward, going from the Five to the Six and the Swords, which this is a conscious decision to like move away. You could very well be moving like where you live, or you could just be leaving a situation. But the idea is that you're doing this for your own good. That whatever it was that was back here was just like too much drama, or it just was, you know, some level of chaos, some sort of like dysfunction, okay? So it was like, well, if I'm going to grow as a person, I need to move forward. And so I feel like, I mean, this very well could be connected to a job. You could have been working and kind of in this one position, waiting on that, you know, promotion or raise or something along those lines, and it just wasn't paying you enough, or you weren't feeling like your leadership skills were being recognized or even used to their fullest potential. Like you didn't feel like you were really expressing yourself and feeling fulfilled to your fullest potential, and that caused some conflict on some level, and there was a moving away. Okay, that's just one storyline. That's an example of how that could be. Now take it as it resonates. It could be those same dynamics, but in a relationship or wherever you found yourself. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull some more cards. I want to see what's up with the Five of Swords. Knight of Swords, King of Wands, the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, so look at these folks right here. They're face to face. They're face to face clarifying this Five of Swords. I feel like both of you, and this could have been a boss that you had a argument with, because we have a Knight of Swords and a King of Wands. And King of Wands is typically like in a leadership role, right? And the Knight of Swords is someone who has a lot of feelings, a lot of ideas, and like it's fire of air. So it's like, this is the person who's going to come in and they want to have a conversation about something so passionately that they could be feeling pretty upset on the inside, or like they have just something that they've been holding on, and then they come out and they say it, and it can come out maybe not with the most grace, but it is definitely very direct. It can be a bit cutting for sure. They could be sharp-tongued, you know. And so I feel like say I'm getting a work vibe here, okay, but take it as it resonates. So these folks right here, there was a power dynamic like differential. All right. And I get the sense that this Knight of Swords like stepped up to challenge this King of Wands, like challenging the quote unquote leader of of the operation. And with the Four of Pentacles, there is like a holding on to a particular tangible idea, or perhaps you were like, hey, I really want to raise, and they're like, well, we can't really do that right now because we don't have a lot of money to spare, and this is, we just can't do that right now, sorry. And you're like, okay, well, I gotta bail. Like, this isn't I'm not growing here. Because we have Knight of Pentacles, King of Pentacles in the outset, and then it's like the Knight of Swords is coming in to have a conversation about this, and the King of Wands is standing in between this Knight of Swords and this. They are holding down, they are holding back the coin. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing here. And then we have more bottom of the deck energy as the Six of Wands. This very well could have been a place where you felt very recognized at one time, okay? I could put that there because we have enough space. Could have felt like you got, at one point in time that you were really recognized. You could have ended up getting a lot of like praise for standing up to this individual, okay? Or at least broaching the subject, right? Like bringing it up, like, because you may not be the only person who hasn't had a raise and, gosh knows how long, okay? So, be that as it may, you very well could have felt successful in this position, all right? But the thing about this energy is that compliments and adoration are not going to pay the bills, okay? Compliments and adoration are not going to pay the bills. So you could get a lot of like pats on the back for doing a job well done, but you're over here being like, well, if I'm so good at what I'm doing, then show me the money, And and you could have gone back and forth on this for quite some time, whether or not you should speak about this, right? Whether or not you should speak about this. I mean, because given this energy and this drive, you have every right to say something. You have every right to come up and say something, to speak to the situation, okay? And I feel like once you made that decision to walk away here, that you have success, you have the Sun energy, but this did worry you for quite some time. You were in your head about this for a while, okay? Because you knew that it was going to disrupt your homeostasis here, and that it would bring an ending to this work situation, or whatever situation this was. I'm saying work because I see a whole heck of a lot of pentacles and a whole heck of a lot of swords. And where do we combine our intellect and our tangibles? At work. And there aren't any cups here. So this isn't a love reading. So if you were thinking maybe I wanted a love reading, pick a different pile for sure, because pile number 1 is definitely a work or some sort of tangible thing. So be that as it may, yeah, you were in your head about this for a long time because you knew if you said something that it was going to be do or die. It's either going to make it or break it, and I feel like you've come to discover that it broke it. You came to discover that it broke it. And now you need to go, there's new opportunities on the horizon. There's new opportunities on the horizon here. Okay, and that's really, really good. But I feel like first you're going to be going inward, reassessing. Maybe you take some time to just kind of like distill and digest and make sense of what you were just in. Because this also suggests a self-worth. Because what I'm seeing here, there's self-worth completely, and a recognition of one's own potential and one's own gifts and practical skills and knowledge, like, are very, very strong, okay? And you don't feel like you're being able to move that energy out of yourself in this environment, that you're not able to like do as good of a job as you wish you could, or like have like an outlet for this energy, because you have a lot to bring. You've done amazing work for this place, but you're not I mean, let's be fair. Like a place of employment serves a purpose. You could feel connected and dedicated to your colleagues. You could feel appreciated on an emotional level. But at the end of the day, you need to feel appreciated in your bank account. Because to be fair, we could be friends with our colleagues and all the things, but we hold a place of employment because that is where we get our bread and butter. Okay? So that's definitely it. And I know that it looks like you thought about this for quite some time, but ultimately this has run its course. You challenged yourself to step up and speak your truth, speaking truth to power, and this person in power was the barrier between, and they weren't loosening up the purse strings. They weren't able to. They could have been like, well, this is all we got right now. Like, we don't have any room for raises. We don't have any room for a, end of the year bonus or any of that stuff. This is all we got, so we can't really part with any of it. And, it has pained you quite a bit to consider departing here. But you just know that your talent can be better rewarded, better compensated, and better utilized somewhere else. It really can. And this is painful, but I feel like you're doing it. Like, I feel like you're in this space of like, no more just sitting back and waiting, or no more sitting back and thinking about this, and I gotta make a move. I have to have this conversation to see if this is where I'm going to continue to stay. And it would appear that they're not really able to work with you. So you gotta take some time and update that resume and be open to new opportunities here. And these opportunities that are coming your way, pile number one, they're going to be swift moving opportunities. Okay? So you want to keep an eye open and be very aware of, like if something seems kind of fleeting, if somebody's like, oh, hey, well, yeah, my brother, blah, 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 has this company and they just lost this other guy, whatever. I mean, if it's something passing in conversation, something that just kind of happens to come up where it's like, you got to strike while the iron's hot. Don't hesitate. That's the bottom line. When an opportunity shows its face, don't hesitate. If it sounds, remotely interesting to you, you can investigate further to see if it would work out for you. You know what I mean? So, and you'll know it. You'll know it when you experience it, because it'll strike an inspiring chord inside of you. It won't be like, oh, that sounds kind of lame. If you feel like there's something like that, don't force yourself to take anything that doesn't sound good to you. But, with the Ace of Wands being the new opportunity, that it's a fast-moving energy. So if you get a little jolt of excitement when someone's talking to you about a particular opportunity, go for it, man. Yeah, go for it. And this could also be you individually trying to think about like even an identity shift as well, because with the Ace of Wands, wands are also of identity. And with the Hermit there, you could be taking some time to think about whether or not you're able, or if you want to maybe start up something all on your own. Because we did have this King of Pentacles here, and an evolution from the Knight to the King of Pentacles. So, perhaps you could have been thinking about starting your own business. And this just flew out, so I'm going to take it. I have no idea what it was. You didn't even see it fly out, but there it is. 9 of Swords. Yeah, you've been worrying about this a lot. Been worrying about this a lot. I'm going to pick 3 cards to close out the reading. They're at least the tarot portion of the reading. I think I'm going to do another video later on this afternoon, just totally reviewing this new deck, because it's pretty spectacular. I've never seen a deck like so glittery and gorgeous and beautiful. Like, look at all the glitter. Okay, moving on. The Star, yes. 7 of Swords, and the World. Ooh. I'm gonna put a little, like, let me put a little card over her special parts. Okay, so, and then on the bottom we have Temperance. So, okay, so yeah, for sure. And then the Chariot. Yeah, you're moving forward. You're moving forward, okay? Now, the Star, 7 of Swords, in the World. This cycle is coming to a close. And through this cycle coming to a close, you are absolutely leveling up. This is a brand new opportunity for wide open, unfettered space. Wide open, unfettered possibility. I mean, it is scary when we lose a job, leave a job, all the things, you know, because we're messing with our foundation, most definitely. But what I'm seeing here, man, is like pile number 1, you got nothing but good things coming your way, because when you finally make this decision, we have the Sun and the Star. I mean, this could be something that very well could have been a long time wish that you've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to be, you know, I've always wanted to be like an animal handler, would like work with reptiles. I don't know, you know. But that, I feel like, is a part of this hermit energy, because this is a process here too, you know, going into the hermit mode, really getting back in touch with what it is that you want to do, what it is that you love to do, you know, and you might not have the answer right away, but, or maybe you will, like maybe this is something that you hadn't even considered since you were like younger, you know. I mean, so either way, the Star is here. So that really does say that there's a lot of healing after this Tower moment here, okay? There is calm, there is healing, there is grace. You get to shoot your shot, okay? You really do, because you've closed something out. There's a part of you that feels as though there's a self-protection energy here with the 7 of Swords. You know, a lot of folks say, oh, lying, cheating, stealing, meow, meow, meow. But this is, no, this is about somebody who's in self-preservation mode. Okay? Self-preservation mode. And they could be picking and choosing their battles, is what that also says as well. Is that like, okay, you know, you had the conversation with your boss. Does it really need to go any further than you trying to go to battle and trying to get whatever it is? No, probably not. You're going to get your answer, and then you're going to do the needful and move forward, okay? Because you have the Chariot here. Cancer energy, and you have Temperance. Temperance. This is something where you get to approach this in a very well-measured way. There's some sort of alchemy that's taking place through this process for you, pile number 1. There is a sense of you're bringing parts of yourself together. Your self-worth, your skill, and your hopes, and your dreams, and your desires, and your wishes, your aspirations. Because the Star is also big aspirations as well. I mean, I really just think that this is the best move because, you know, I mean, you could do what you want, but look at the energy that you have preceding this move. preceding that conversation with that King of Wands. There's 9 of Swords energy, 2 of Swords energy, 8 of Swords energy. That is all, I mean, that's like, those are tough spots to be in, because what's happening is that your energy is being invested in this worry place, and that's just a tough space to be in. And you have so much to offer. You have so much to offer, pile number 1. And I can tell because there is a boatload of earth energy here. And I mean, earth energy people, they get it done, man. They get it done. They really do. Earth and air people, I feel like they get it done. So I'm going to leave it there for the tarot portion. I have nothing but, faith in you. I think that you're headed in a great direction, and it can feel tough, but I honestly think that the toughest part is going to be over. Or if you've already had this conversation, the toughest part is behind you. It really is. So I want to pull some cards for you, some oracle cards. We're going to go ahead and pull from the Surrender, the Power of Surrender deck here. That one flipped out. Surrender to silence. That flipped out, so I'm just going to take it. Surrender to silence. In quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. I'm going to go ahead and put that over here next to the Hermit. And then surrender unhealthy relationships. Let go of relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. Okay, that's true. Maybe this was a toxic work environment. You know what I mean? That could very well be it too. Surrender to inner peace. Cultivate inner peace on a daily basis. In quiet meditative moments, focus on the stillness within and enjoy this inner refuge. Others will feel your good vibes too, and your life will flow more easily. So there really is such a strong invitation for you. And under the deck it says surrender obsessive thinking. If you're obsessing about a person or a situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help bring you clarity or even solve the problem. Yeah. Because this has been in your head for quite some time, it really looked like work to me, and I'm sticking with that story, but it's kind of like in work we do have relationships with people, and I feel like the invitation here is very strong to just kind of like get that healing peace from within, and just try to let go and surrender overthinking the situation. You absolutely will find something else. You have the sun, you have the star, like these energies, when you choose to move forward, bing, bang, boom, like the career, the new job is just going to fully line up. I mean, this is really, really something. So I'm going to pull a couple of little flower cards for you. That is one amazing world card right there. Okay, Lysianthus. Gratitude and grace always look lovely on you. Okay, yeah. I mean, a lot of times when we're kind of, taking our leave from somewhere, we're like, this has taken me as far as it can. This place of employment or whatever I was engaged in here really only took me as far as I can go. And this is where the path, diverges or what have you. Like, appreciate it for the time that it was there. All the things that you learned while you were there, you know, having, as it put you in touch with how valuable you are, you know, this experience has really brought you face to face with how worthy you are, and how how efficient, and how just such an amazing asset to have on anyone's team, or even somebody to lead a whole brand new group, you know, whatever the case may be. Like, this situation has brought you face to face with understanding your self-worth and moving in the direction of receiving what you deserve. Okay? Violet. The answers and truths are always within. So much going within energy. Lotus. Stand still for now and listen to your life. Oh my gosh. They're all not like this in this deck. Gerbera. Show appreciation and joy shall follow. Well, there you have it. Okay, let me see. Okay, let me go ahead. I'm called to pick from this deck for you too. Just a couple, just another one. I can't help it. I feel like giving you more. And why? Probably because you deserve so much more than what you've been getting. The Goat and Willow, overcoming obstacles. Very nice. Yeah, and there's so much earth energy here. The Goat and Willow, like the goat, everybody knows that's Capricorn. The Frog and Lotus, metamorphosis. So, yeah, I mean, the goat in the zodiac is Capricorn. Capricorn is associated with, like, you know, like the strongest worker in the deck. And here we go after that, leadership. The strongest worker in the deck, okay? Leadership and satisfaction. Okay, I'm putting those down because I could just keep pulling cards because they all seem to resonate with this reading. So there's so much earth energy here, and so you could very well have strong Capricorn in your chart, because we have overcoming obstacles with the Goat and the Willow. With the Frog and the Lotus, there's metamorphosis. With the Bear and the Cedar, there's leadership. And with the Turtle here, we have the Turtle and Coriander for satisfaction. So this is just like a full-on, like, you see how one then leads to the next? This is a progression right here. This is a process. And I feel like this process and these cards are really reflecting this process as well, and everything that we've talked about so far today. Okay, pile number one, that was a good reading. It was a big one, I feel like, even though I'm at 33 minutes right now. I tried to make it short. Okay, so mwah, I will talk to you later. Thank you so much. Okay, bye. Hello, pile two. Welcome to your reading. If you picked the Labradorite Star, this is your reading, okay? So, like I'd said at the beginning of the video, my aim is to just read whatever comes out, and the inspiration for this was having been doing the shorts, I come to find that I get cut off, or I want to say more about what I pull, of course, because you know, you pull 3 cards for a 1-minute little short, and yeah, I just really wanted to do a reading like this today to see whatever comes out, you know, because it'll be fun. So, with so much gratitude and respect, I invite Spirit in to provide a message for pile number 2 for their greatest and highest good at this time. Please and thank you, Spirit. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. So much respect. Six of Cups, the Fool, and the Page of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck energy, Page of Swords. Okay. So straight away what I'm getting here is that there is a relationship that you have with somebody. This could be a sibling, this could be a soul partner, soul tie, somebody who you have history with, somebody that you care very much about and they care very much about you in return. And with the Fool here and the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Swords, it would appear to me that what you want to do, because the Fool is headed and is looking at this relationship, there could be a lot of nostalgia here, okay? Looking back at this relationship, thinking about memories, times shared. You know, I get the sense that this relationship also carried like an element of like playfulness, you know? There was a way in which you both could be authentically yourselves in this whenever you came together, you know? And with the Page of Pentacles, that can typically mean some sort of form of apology or some sort of gesture, a small gesture. Always with the pages, it's small gestures, not insignificant, but not overt, like not overly like grandiose. You know what I'm saying? Not so much super duper like in your face, but I just get the sense that there's something that you want to apologize for, or something you at least want to acknowledge through initiating a conversation. I get the sense that with the Fool here, this is something that is kind of wanting to start a brand new cycle or a new path with this person in mind, or starting a new path like with reverence for what you learned here in this relationship. This could be a friend, this could be a sibling, this could be just somebody where you came together and you learned a lot from this connection. There's a lot of history here, okay? Okay, but this is an initiation and a conversation on your part, because here you are as the Fool, and the Fool is holding a white rose in their hand, which is kind of like this, you know, I get this as like a mea culpa, like a white rose, the white dove of peace, you know, offering. And then there's all these white lilies here as well, and the little white dog. The dog signifies loyalty and appreciation, truth. And this Fool is clad in truth, their own personal truth, right? Of the loyalty that they feel, the clear vision that they have for wanting to offer and to move forward and to address something that needs to be addressed here. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, so what needs to be addressed here? Page of Cups, another page, Nine of Pentacles, and the Sun. Yeah, it would appear that there's been a lot of reflection, and then we have the Star on the bottom, hope and healing, and then death. There's a transformation and a judgment, and the Ten of Swords, and the Magician, and then the Page of Wands. We have all four pages on the ground here. What this is about is like a reconciliation or a hope and a wish to start over. There's a manifestation here and maybe not even start over in the same way, like, oh, we were besties forever and now let's go right back to where we were and be besties again. No, I get the sense that it's so much more deeper than that, where like you're wanting to come forward and really just acknowledge like the beauty and the grace and the appreciation and the depth at which you felt for this connection. And because something happened here that was very painful. Something happened that was very painful. There was a painful ending here. There was a betrayal, whether that happened to you or, from you in a way. I mean, it matters, but in the grand scheme of this reading, maybe not the main focus, but you want to make good on something. I feel like, even if it's just to come together and to acknowledge, where you're at and how you feel, because we have all the pages. That's beginner energy. That is beginner energy. And I get the sense that with the star here, the ending or the big shift and the transformation has already kind of happened. And so this is like you're doing a retrospective here. There's been healing here. I get the sense that somebody wants to take accountability for something. And whether this is you or somebody that you're dealing with, take it as it resonates, but that's what this looks like to me. There was significant change. I get the sense that it was like a significant ending and transformation of one way of relating with a person, and that in this effort to move toward and to, have this acknowledgement and make these, small gestures, that there's a hope for the sun, right? There's a hope that this will turn out in a very positive, illuminating way. I feel like with the sun underneath the Page of Pentacles as well, is that that's also offering tangible, like, evidence, or, I mean, I don't want to say evidence, that kind of sounds cold, but like offering something tangible to really illuminate what it is that you want to get across here. And with all that effort that I just described, the Judgment is here. This is like a reconciliation, or at least a desire and a want, a manifestation for a reconciliation and to make good on this Ten of Swords experience here. With Death and Judgment right next to one another. And I've shuffled that deck a ton, okay? I even worked with it last night, and I do not, either way, be that as it may. Whenever we have Death and Judgment coming out right next to each other, that signifies an ego death. A full-on surrendering of one's own guard, one's own emotional, how people like to do the things where they save face and how they move through the world, and it's like this, they show up the way that they need to show up in order to like get through the interaction, or there's some sort of sense in the past from this energy that I'm feeling like there was a disconnect with one's own depth and authenticity, and something about this relationship helped you get back in touch, helped you or your person. I'm just gonna continue to say you and just take it as it resonates. And this is all coming from a place of love, okay? So like, whatever. I've just, either way, I'm getting on with the reading. I feel like this relationship that you had with this person, or have, because I get the sense you want to make good, like I've said before, but that there was something that you learned from them, something that you were able to get in touch with your own authenticity and your own childlike self and feel safe and feel open and feel, non-judged and loved and all of that and fully accepted. And there was a lot of trust there. And with the Ten of Swords popping out on some level, it's like some trust was broken. Some trust was broken, and then with the pages, all the pages, and then the Fool, it's like I say, the beginner energy, right? So I feel like I just heard that song, like going back to the start. Going back to the start. What is that? Yellow? No. What is that? Freaking Coldplay. Yeah. Coldplay. Yeah, like there's a full on trying to like go start over. And what I was saying before was, I don't feel like your intention is to resurrect this to a degree that says, okay, let's dive right back into where we were with one another, but like transform this, because this has happened, this has caused a very, like a big shift and a sense of growth. Like whenever there's a fracture, there's a repair, hopefully. Like that's the goal, right? Rupture and repair. And so many relationships will just completely go dark because a lack of knowing how to repair. And also battles of the ego. Well, I'm not going to step forward and do the things because I'm not the one that did this, and that, and the other. Okay, yeah, okay, fair, completely fair. Understandable, all the things. And then there are the folks who are holding a lot of the responsibility for a rupture. I mean, granted, it takes two, but, when there's a rupture, the person who really caused that, for them to, like, make good on it and to know how and to learn how and to just make repair. And that's what I'm seeing here. And I also see someone making repair, but maybe not, like not even maybe, like full on, like not having a lot of experience in stepping up in the past to make that repair. Hence the ego death. Okay? This ego death, whereas like the version of them or the version of you or whoever from before would be the one to be like, well, F that, I ain't gonna do that. Like, only wussies do that. Like, F it. What's done is done. Moving on, and there's really no repair. There's no acknowledgement of the other person's humanity or even one's own sense of humanity and one's own, like deep desire for human connection and appreciation for one's own humanness and one's own ability to connect and a deep appreciation for the connection that was there, giving it its grace, giving it its respect. And so this person here is wanting to step up and do that, and we have the 4 pages. So I feel like since this is a very new experience of stepping forward and making repair, that this feels very vulnerable. It feels very, very like I get the sense that this person doesn't want to fumble the bag, or fumble the ball, or however you want to put it. And I can appreciate that, most definitely. If I was in this person's shoes, I wouldn't want to either. it's a very vulnerable place to step up and admit that you had done something wrong. And that where you were just didn't treat another, or didn't like treat the connection with as much respect as you could have, or that you should have, or whatever the case may be. And like I said, this could be friends, this could be siblings, this could be, you know, lovers, whatever. But there is definitely a manifestation for wanting to make repair here, and I feel like this is this person's maiden voyage into this massive soul growth. Because when we go from not doing that kind of work to doing that kind of work, that is huge. That is huge. It's huge. I mean, we're talking a skill that that will carry you in any and all relationships in your life. And not only that, it's about your own self and your own emotional maturity. This is going from an emotionally immature place to an emotionally mature place. And when we are beginning to step over that threshold into emotional maturity, taking accountability and acknowledging one's own actions with respect, still for ourselves, you know, it's not an invitation to flog oneself, okay? You just taking accountability is a very humbling experience, and it's also so rich, and it actually opens up your heart so much more and invites those that vibrate on that same frequency into your life. And you want those people in your life, okay? So this is beautiful. What I'm looking at right here is beautiful. This is really, really good. And I think that with the sun here, that's to also say that this energy that's coming through is completely nurtured by the sun, because it's all about growth. Okay? It's all about growth. And then with the Nine of Pentacles right here in the middle, this is someone who is like a solid, sovereign individual. There's a sturdiness, there is a wholeness about this person. There's an integrated sense of self with this Nine of Pentacles. And I feel with this exercise here, all these pages are gonna, you know, kind of, these elements are all coming together. We also have the Magician here. The Magician works with all of the elements. But what we're seeing here is that this person is bringing in all these elements at a very beginner energy. Page of earth, page of water, page of fire, page of air. All these elements to move forward and make repair, make good on this, because it's time. This is huge transformation energy. Okay? Ego death and healing, transformation, resurrection, being born again, starting anew, becoming a different type of person. It's beautiful. That's beautiful. So I'm just going to pull a couple of cards to kind of get some energies for the closing out of the reading, because, you know, this is a big enough process for one to actually acknowledge and distill and move through. The invitation is so clear. And the thing is that this Fool, this Magician Fool page completely, right? The Fool is embodying all the pages, while the Magician is also using the energy from all the pages. Like, the movement is forward. So this is not a should I or shouldn't I. This person has made up their mind of, this needs to shift inside of me. And even if I feel like a kid, like I'm just like a newborn baby in a diaper doing this work, I'm doing it anyway. Because you got to start somewhere. I'm doing it anyway. I'm moving towards it. I'm making repair. I'm stepping up. I'm becoming an adult. That's how we become an adult. It's not just about balancing a checkbook and paying your bills and going to work and putting your pants on one leg at a time. It's about showing up in an emotionally accountable way and being able to communicate that. And I see this person doing that, and I applaud them greatly, because a lot of people don't ever get to this point because they're stuck in that bullshit mindset of, I ain't doing that, fuck that. You know what I mean? So lame. And then what happens? They just go and they repeat the same bullshit with another person. It's like, what are you doing? Like, you're just spinning your wheels with different people. But that's not who I'm looking at here today. All right. Okay, Spirit, what's a closing message for pile number 2? Call out the zodiac signs of these folks as well, just in case people want to know that. We got Scorpio, Aquarius, Sagittarius, Aquarius again, Gemini, Leo, Aries, more Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. I mean, we basically with the 4 court cards of each element, you could have any one of those. But strong on the major arcana with strong Leo, Gemini, Sagittarius, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Okay. 10 of Cups, the World. Cover those bazooms. Some gorgeous boobs. Okay. So we have 10 of Cups, the World, and the Hermit. And then at the bottom of the deck we have the Empress. Okay. So yeah, I mean, with the World here, it's like you're closing out this cycle and you're leveling up. You've done a lot of self-reflection here. So much self-reflection and healing. So much self-reflection and healing that it's like, dude, it's time to step up and graduate from the sandbox. And even though I'm stepping into another sandbox, this new one that I'm stepping into is a whole hell of a lot cleaner. It's got, the higher grade sand because we're all adults here and we can afford the good sand. And like, here's the World closing out the old me, stepping up. And, this is leading to a 10 of Cups. And whether or not this 10 of Cups is with this person, it very well may be with the Judgment here. But this is also saying, when I do this work, I'm able to align with partnership. I'm able to align with my heart. I'm able to have empathy and compassion and multi-directional partiality to everybody's emotional experience, not just my own, right? This is emotional maturity here as well, the 10 of Cups. This is acknowledgement. This is love. This is family. And love in the truest form, like acknowledgement, compassion, connection, the whole deal. And with the Empress here, it's like this is a culmination of all the queens. Like in this reading, you had like the Magician, I felt like stood for a culmination for all the pages that were on the ground, because he's harnessing all the elements in their purest form, in the beginner energy, to step forward. And then what do you have here? We have the Empress, a culmination of all the queens. This can also be an invitation for you to consider your own relationship with your mom or the maternal figure in your life. This is also an invitation to be like, okay, well, how do I mother myself? How do I nurture myself? How do I embody this mothering energy? Is this something that has been missing from my life? You know? Am I now like trying to step up and graduate here, level up, and really thinking about ways in which I nurture myself, nurture and bring forth my creativity, and nurture others, right? Beautiful, beautiful energy, beautiful energy. So let me go ahead. That's gonna do it for the tarot portion here. Oh, and here's more zodiac. Okay, Pisces, Virgo, Taurus, and then, you know, the world. We got all the mamma jammas: Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio. Okay. Heavy Scorpio in this reading. Yeah, no, this is a really good reading. This is a really good reading. And I'm not like, oh, like patting myself on the back. It's not like that. It's more like this message is freaking so cool. Because it's something that all of us have to do at one point or another. Truly. Rupture and repair. As long as you're able to know how to repair, I think that's really good. Surrender obsessive thinking. If you're obsessing about a person or a situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help bring you clarity or even solve the problem. Yes. Surrender to receiving support and love. Allow the love and support of others in, rather than trying to handle everything yourself. This can take the pressure off and simultaneously nurture you. Yes. The Empress. Yes. And I'm going to pick one more. Surrender resentments. Holding on to resentments only poisons you. Excuse me. Try to forgive others for their shortcomings and keep moving forward towards positive situations in your life. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll put that next to the 10 of Cups there. Okay, we got for the little flower card, we have Buttercup. Be ready. The best is on its way. Aww. Cool. And then let's pick a couple more of these little guys. Carnation. Keep going. Keep growing. Be unstoppable. Yes. Growth. Growth. Gardenia. Listen to the divine whispers stirring in your heart. Aww. Little divine whispers in the heart. Yes. Getting in touch with your heart. And that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, it's a necessary thing. Like, oh man, your whole world is going to open up. You or your person's whole world is just going to open up in so much more of an abundant, beautiful, fruitful way. You know, when we really begin to open up and just like humbly take accountability for our shit. It's tough, but it's like, dude, like, what's the point in being like, oh, I didn't do that. It's like, dude. It's like, shut up. Take a seat. You know, I mean, if you weren't at fault, then you weren't at fault. Then you don't even know, there's no reason to even feel defensive. But, you know, if you knew your thing, you knew what you did, come on, man. Everybody's shit stinks, okay? Okay. All right, we have the Bat and Hellbore. Oh god, I love these cards. Intuition. So yeah, really trust your intuition right now. And sit still with yourself. Frog and Lotus, Metamorphosis. This is changing. This is really changing you. This is probably one of the bigger changes that people can, bigger growth strides that people can take in their life, is when they finally learn to like swallow, like not just swallow your pride, because that indicates or suggests like a stuffing down. This is about surrender. You're not swallowing your pride, you're surrendering your pride. You're laying down your arms, laying down your swords here. The Chipmunk and Laurel, success. Adaptability as well with the Fox and Ivy. You know, and that's a part of it too, this whole process and rupture and repair and understanding yourself. I mean, it's about adaptability. You're not going to just like move into this energy and have it all figured out. It's a practice. It's a practice, and it takes work, and it takes years of self-reflection, or it could. I mean, it's really deep soul work is what I'm seeing here for you, pile number 2. Pile number 2, I think you're headed in a fantastic direction. I think you are completely getting in touch with yourself and stepping into what it means to be a true, authentic human being. Okay? So with that, mwah, I love you guys, and I will talk to you later. Remember to like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube-y things, and I will see you later. Bye! Hello, pile 3. If you chose the Labradorite octopus, then this is your reading. And like I had said in the beginning of the video, we are going to be doing whatever comes out, okay? And the inspiration behind that is that I've been doing the little YouTube shorts, and coming to find that I, you know, to try to do a little 3-card reading in basically 40 seconds is kind of tough sometimes. But so I was like, you know what, I think it'd be fun to just like do it, you know, that way for an actual reading, for a pick a pile reading. So here we are. Thank you so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. I also greatly appreciate all of your lovely likes, shares, and subscribes. Okay, and so at this time, I'm going to invite Spirit in with so much gratitude and respect, and request a message for pile number 3 for their greatest and highest good at this time. Please and thank you, Spirit. So much respect. Two of Wands, 2 of Pentacles, and the 5 of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck energy, Justice. Okay. Is someone going back and forth on a decision? Trying to be fair about something. Okay. This is interesting. This is interesting. So pile number 3. Either you or somebody else close to you is feeling out in the cold, or perhaps just feeling impoverished on some level. there's a dominant energy of wanting fairness, wanting things to be balanced here, right? And in the Two of Pentacles, you very well may have been feeling as though you've been, feeling as though that burden of responsibility was on your shoulders, you keeping everything going. And I also get the sense that being that person in that role, that has somehow contributed to you feeling like you're not getting your needs met either. It's kind of like the person kind of like the person trying to make everything good for everybody else, but is kind of feeling neglected. And with the Two of Wands here, it's like there's a needing to make a decision on something. Which action do you take? Which action do you take in order to progress to the next step, which would be the Three of Wands? The Three of Wands then opens up the portal for you to step through the gateway, right? There's an integration of some sort of part of your identity that helps you move forward. Some sort of new piece of information or maybe you're calling in and working with some mentors in order to help gain clarity around something. Truth and clarity. So it's like there's two storylines that I'm getting. The one that I just described, and another one that could be a variation of the first, where you're just kind of in this spot of like, what do I do? What do I do? I'm feeling a little bit out in the cold here, and I feel like I've been treated unfairly, or vice versa. Like, how do I become more fair, or how do I then help this other person feel less out in the cold, or how do I balance the scales essentially? What's the fairest? What's the final decision here? What's the final decision here? Justice. What's right? And you see here that the scales are out of balance. They're out of balance. And so I feel like that resonates very strongly with this energy, especially. Trying to put things back in balance. Four of Swords, King of Swords, the Tower, air energy. Okay, there's a lot of thinking that's been going into this. Not over the top, I mean, it's definitely, of course, you're putting thought into whatever this is, and this is important. There's a seriousness here, most definitely. And the Tower may have come down already, hence this feeling of being out in the cold, either you or another person. Or it may not have. Perhaps that's a fear that you hold with this, should I or shouldn't I? Which this or that. And with the Four of Swords here would suggest that you're taking time. You have taken time, you are taking time to really meditate on that and to think on that and to go quiet, nurture yourself in this process, getting a lot of rest, but also very much a contemplative time for you. Because I see that, once you make this decision, there will be no more waffling. It's like once you get clear, you gotta step up. I mean, this is I feel like I'm speaking for you at this point. It's kind of like I've spent so much time in this energy. I really want to get to a place of balance. This is a factor here. This is a factor here, whether real or imagined or experienced in myself or my fear that someone else would be experiencing this. I'm just kind of biding my time, thinking a lot about it, because when I finally come out of hiding here and I come up and I step up, this is going to be it. This is like, I'm going to be very clear in my communication. The boundary will be laid. Like, this would have come after like much deliberation, much thought. But you know that once you come out and you speak about this, whatever it is, that it's like there's no going back. Like, the line has been drawn, you know, the line in the sand. This is not a wishy-washy energy. This is no longer waffling. This is resolute. Resolute. What do we have here? Bottom of the deck. Three of Swords, Lovers, Page of Wands, Hierophant, Eight of Wands, Three of Pentacles. Then after that, I just get that energy as a rebuilding. Okay. Pile number 3, this is looking pretty specific. Okay, now this is a decision of whether or not to get a divorce or to end a long-term relationship. Okay, with the Justice. Should I stay or should I go? If I go, very commonly so here, right? Especially in our patriarchal society. But, you know, I'm not going to get too political on it, but I think that a lot of times, especially for women, leaving, you know, and maybe not even just women, but when there is a marriage, it's like one person may make more money than the other person, and then the person who makes less money could really be feeling apprehensive about leaving, because then it's like, well, am I going to be in the poorhouse? You know, not that they're only married to this person for stability, but, you know, things shift and change along the way of, you know, getting married and then hitching your wagon to somebody else's and then being financially dependent on another person. And the interesting thing is that I feel like it's kind of set up that way in our in our society, so that this, you know, kind of arrangement gets, you know, drawn out a bit further. But I digress. So what I'm looking at here is someone who is meditating back and forth on whether or not to get a divorce. And once the decision is made, that's the decision. And I get the sense, pile number 3, that you are absolutely leaning towards ending it. Because we have the 5 of Pentacles, the Tower. The Tower is a disruption of homeostasis, right? It's a disruption of homeostasis. And I really actually like how the three of Pentacles did come out at one point, because, or it was at the bottom of the deck after the communication, because, or even the traveling of the action being taken, because the thing is with the Tower, it comes down because it needs to come down. It comes down because it needs to come down, and a lot of times we have already known this energy to be in our ether. We have already known these things to be there, very present, you know, and this the Tower will come in and come down when we have been dragging our heels and not making a decision, not doing the thing. And the reason that we don't do the thing is because it freaking hurts. Usually Towers will come in when there is a lot at stake. And the a lot that is at stake is the homeostasis. You know, towers will come in when we are dissatisfied and unhappy for a very long time in a particular situation. And then it's like, you know, then something happens and you just happen to, you know, for example, okay, there was an agency that I worked at back in 2008, and I was just like ready to be done. And turned out that it was right before that big economic downturn, and the agency ended up being sold. And so then it was kind of like, okay, well, I don't have a job anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. And so, but we're looking at here today as a partnership, and more specifically a marriage. Three of Swords, the Lovers, Page of Wands, Hierophant, Eight of Wands. Thing is, there's been a lot of like this was a very deep, and of course this was a very this was either a marriage or a committed partnership. Okay, that's what this was or is. And I feel like certain actions were not taken because we have the Page of Wands in between these heavy hitter energies right here. The Page of Wands is in between the Lovers and the Hierophant. The commitment, the doctrine, the vows, the higher knowing, the higher level of consciousness, the higher level of functioning, right? And so somebody could have been not doing what it was that they needed to do in order to progress in their identity formation, or really just kind of staying at the starting line when it came to taking action on a particular thing that absolutely needed to happen. And what was at stake due to the Page's either inability or reticence or apprehension around moving forward, around taking action. Okay, the apprehension and a reticence around taking action has caused this to come down. Okay, I do see that from the Hierophant to the communication to the Eight of Wands, and then this Three of Pentacles. This could be someone suggesting that there be work done to rebuild. So it's like we got two different couples types of arrangements here. One where someone has been very clear, it's a done deal and all the things. Okay. This very well could be someone who is still in between, like it could go beyond whether or not, you know, should I stay or should I go? Should I stay or should I go? Which now the news and the conversations have been had about the dire, like where this relationship is at the moment on the rocks right now. Then it could be then a suggestion on the heels of that to rebuild, and this can be, should I or shouldn't I? Should I rebuild? Should I reinvest? Right? I mean, this seems quite clear. This is heavy duty. You know, and with the King of Swords, that could be, you know, it's a resoluteness, right? It's a resolute energy. After much deliberation, it's like a resolute energy around, okay, no, this is done, we're done. And in another sense, it could be, well, either this is done or we work on it. Like, we need to decide, you know. And I feel like that's what it is. Like, And then there are some folks in this pile number 3 collective that will work on it, and some folks in the pile number 3 collective that will be like, no, this we've been trying for a long time. And you know, what's going to change? Because I will tell you this, out of all the pages, the Page of Wands, I've seen this in a couple of decks. They seem the most apprehensive, where they're just like, they're looking at the wand. They're looking at the potentiality, right? They're looking at the potentiality of taking this action. So there's really like, you know, and given that this page is surrounded by such heavy hitters, I just feel like there was an invitation to step up on some level, and it just was not, it was not pursued. I want to clarify that Page of Wands energy. I mean, because honestly, it seems like like. Okay, let's see. Hang on. Okay. Sorry, my whole deck just kind of like flipped out. Okay. So, because the thing is like, whether, like, the Page of Wands, let's look at it. What does someone need to do? Yeah, the Fool just came out in reverse. Not trusting, being apprehensive, not taking the leap. And that could even speak to your apprehension, or whoever's apprehension it was to even suggest this at the same time. You know, it does speak to apprehensive energy. Not taking action. Not starting over or growing when there was an invitation to. Something needed to shift. That's what it was. Something needed to shift, and it wasn't shifting. I mean, granted, it's kind of the root of most dissolutions, I should say. Magician and the Strength. Bottom of the deck energy, Six of Pentacles. Yeah, this is about equal give and take, reciprocity. Reciprocity. And somebody wasn't stepping up. Somebody wasn't fully stepping up. It's like there's this Page of Wands and then the Fool in reverse, but yet the Magician and the Strength. So it's kind of like the will is there, right? There's a balancing of ego and higher knowing and a want to manifest, but yet not moving forward. I get the sense of like treading water in one spot. And it's like this needed to be reciprocated. This needed to be, you know, that perhaps there's a lot of you that will try again to really work this out, because given that the Six of Pentacles is here, And there's so many majors right here. Such heavy hitter energy with regard to like the Lovers, the Magician, the Strength, the Hierophant. You know, and then I see like there's the Ten of Wands. This has been very hard. This has been very, very difficult. And there's somebody who's like, it's like, okay, I need to get like back in touch with myself. Like, who am I as a sovereign individual? I get the sense that maybe one of the partners in this relationship was carrying the load, you know? Carrying the load, doing all the emotional labor, feeling out of balance, feeling like their partner may have been in a kind of occupying a childish space. And I don't mean no gnarly judgment by any means, but like this is what this is looking like, man. Apprehension. Yeah, this is a rough one. This is rough, man. This is really rough. I mean, it's like there has been so much thought put into this, but I just get the sense that like it's like it's been going on for so long, you know, of there needing to be a shift, there needing to be a change, someone to come out of this contemplative energy and really step into, you know, manifesting and making things happen and really harnessing their, you know, harnessing their core sense of self in order to be the catalyst of this forward movement, right? Of this work, this investment into building this back up or saving it or doing the needful. And it's just with the full energy here on its head. There's so much fear there. There's so much fear there to taking that leap and really stepping into what this means. Because look, man, if we're to look at the strength and manifestation and moving forward through this, what this is an invitation to do is to look at the base desires. What we're looking at here is the id and the superego, okay? What is at the base desires, the impulses, the drives, the lust, all the things, all the rich, tasty, tantalizing things that we all have, right? And clearly we can't run around with that completely unbidden because it's like, we're not reptiles, and, you know, you can't be just doing that. You have to function in society, right? And so the higher knowing, the ethos, right, has to come down. And with the strength, what this suggests is an integration of the two in order to get to the core of who you are. And if we are having a very difficult time moving towards that energy, and we have a lot of fear moving towards that energy, and we're just standing on the edge of the pool, that says to me that there's a lot of work to do. And there's a lot of fear here with this person who's having a lot of apprehension about going deep and figuring out who they are. You know what I mean? And that's some heavy hitting work. That's hard. It is hard work to do, but that's what's necessary, man. Because listen, if you're in a high level commitment here, if you're in a marriage, that marriage will only go so far if you are moving through life and you don't even know who you are. And you're like just wearing a mask, or you're just like, you know, going through the motions, or I don't know, just like there seems to be something so much deeper at play here for one of the individuals in this partnership that really would suggest a turning the attention toward oneself for this self-discovery, for this work, for all kinds of reasons. And, you know, one of which is like their marriage is at stake now, right? There's a marriage at stake. I'm sorry, pile number 3. This is a very specific reading, so if it's not yours, don't make it fit. And if you didn't find anything in these piles today, then it just wasn't your day, it wasn't your video. 10 of Swords, the Hierophant, 7 of Swords, dodgy, 2 of Wands again, bottom of the deck energy, the Hermit, 5 of Swords, Death, the Lovers. Okay. I mean, it's just reiterating the same message. There was a deception here. There's been an avoidance of fully taking responsibility in one's role to this commitment. Okay? There could have been deception. There could have been like betrayals that have happened. But what I'm seeing here is that there has been a lack of accountability, a lack of wanting to, because out of a sense of someone's own self-preservation, they didn't want to face the music, basically. And so then here's this other person who's just like, okay, well, here we are. I'm just gonna, it's getting down to me, man. I'm gonna have to be the one to choose. Do I stay in this commitment here where my partner is dodging, taking accountability for whatever kind of deceptions and shitty backstabbing or like really funky pain that has been caused here on some level by some way, you know, in some shape or form has been very painful here. So there's been a lot of meditation on that with this Hermit energy. And there very well could have been a lot of arguments, a lot of clashing of ideas and words and harsh things said with the 5 of Swords, you know, and then we have Death and the Lovers. You have 3 of Swords and the Lovers. What I'm seeing is I'm seeing here, pile number 3, that one of these people has really made an effort to try to get things balanced, and it's been very, very difficult. I don't think it's highly contentious in the separation. I feel like it's highly contentious with regard to trying to get one of the other people to do what needs to be done and to do their work and to step up and to, you know, take accountability or be the person, or not just be the person, but do the needful, whatever that needful thing is. I mean, there was something that needed to really kind of, it's as if one person hit some sort of stride and grew in some sort of way, and then the other person was not able to keep up or to grow with that first partner. And there was an invitation made by the partner who was growing and climbing the mountain. You know, they turned around at one point and they're like, hey man, do you, the, I noticed that if you're going to make this next part of the mountain with me, that you actually need to bring on these new tools and this extra equipment, because we're actually going higher up the mountain and the air is getting thin here, but I only have my own oxygen mask. So you need to get an oxygen tank as well, and you may need to get some crampons, you might need to get some hiking poles. Like, we're past strolling up the first part of the grade, and now we're getting into the more intense part of the hike. And so if you want to continue, like, I'm going to make it to the summit, like, I want to go up the mountain here, right? Because there's really wonderful things to be had at the top of this mountain, and I'm actually really feeling the reward of making these strides and like really challenging myself to go further. And I really want you to come with me, but can you? Are you capable? And I feel like this person was probably like, yeah, I think that sounds like a really cool idea. Like, I really want to do that. Like, I'm really considering doing that, and I'm also kind of afraid to do that, right? And so in an effort to avoid taking accountability for one's own fear and being honest with oneself about how there's a reticence to really get in touch with the core sense of self, because there may not be, like, there's just too much fear there, maybe even shame. As we look at this Seven of Swords character, yeah, self-preservation, ducking out, right, making a shady exit. However, when we carry, like, try to hold that posture. What do you feel in your body when you hold that posture? There could be a level of shame and wanting to avoid those feelings. And I mean, when a marriage ends or any long-term, like, higher level commitment comes to a close, everybody's shame is activated, absolutely. They're definitely not the only one, but oh man, I mean, it's like, I don't know. This may be donezo for sure. Not even me. I mean, I think for some of you, there could possibly be some Three of Pentacles, but for others of you, which I feel like is kind of the majority, to be fair, that, like, I feel like whoever made this decision was really in it for a very long time, in contemplative mode, and even in their own self-work mode, right? Because we have the Hierophant here twice, and the Hierophant isn't only about a marriage. The Hierophant is about being in communion with Spirit, being in the communion with God, but with their own personal doctrine. And, there can be a rigidity around that, right? There can be a rigidity around the Hierophant energy where, what do? We then balance that out, right? We balance that out by getting in touch with our Empress energy, to be fair. And even the High Priestess. Because the High Priestess just has a still inner knowing, whereas the Hierophant is like, this is by the book. Where the High Priestess can recognize and acknowledge and accept all shades of gray. The Hierophant, a little bit more task mastery, a little bit more black and white. But the point is that individually speaking, we all have our own interpretation of what it means for us to commune with Spirit. What do we hold our values? Like, the Hierophant really speaks so strongly to our unshakable values, right? And so I feel like with the dissolution of this marriage and the breaking down, there is a lot of shame felt by both parties, because it did really very much fly in the face of each person's set of values. And I feel like the opportunity for one of these people to to get the gear necessary to continue to climb the mountain with their partner. Um, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that opportunity is lost. I feel like it is. As a reader, this is just in a very very painful, very tough spot right now. Very, very painful. Very, very difficult. You know, it went from feeling like should I or shouldn't I to just going full bore into the frickin' fire, man. And it just was like, dude, how long can one wait? How long can one sit at, you know, kind of being like, okay, are you gonna get your gear or not? You know, need to like step up here, take accountability, get in touch with your core sense of self, and work on yourself in order to, you know, join me on this journey of life, because, you know, I'm growing and evolving, and I want you to come with. But if you're gonna still, you know, tread water in the same space, I can't be in those waters anymore. I can't be in that place, you know? Anyways, I'm gonna leave it at there for the tarot. This is pretty long, and it's kind of dragging me into a little bit of a spiral here. And so I do want to say that for the pile number 3s, whoever this is resonating with, I'm sending you so much love and compassion and empathy for both people. This is very, very sad, and it is very harsh. There's a lot of harsh imagery coming up off of here, and it's really just in the very tumultuous state where this is the painful part. This is the core of the most painful part of this process. And I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull some oracle cards for you guys now, okay? I'm going to go ahead and grab, okay, listen, I'm going to read you a few surrender cards, and then I'm going to grab my other deck that's like so very much needed for this type of reading. See how many came out. These popped out. Yeah. Okay. Surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. Let go of limiting ideas about yourself that originate from the past. Then you can own your power and soar in your life. Surrender to the wisdom of your body. Listen to your body's messages about a person or situation. If you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. If you are energized and happy, move forward. Surrender your desire to control other people. Being over-controlling can sabotage relationships. To more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup, and give the situation some breathing room. Yeah. I mean, and even reflected in the cards and the way I laid out the cards, like everything is so crowded. and it's kind of like all the energies ended up coming out like boom, 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 like right after another. There was like, it was like a bunch of majors as well. It's like no room for like, it just feels very constricted and very tense and very rigid and very black and white right now. That's also another energy that's kind of like, that's what I'm feeling in here. Surrender to receiving support and love. Allow the love and support of others in rather than trying to handle everything yourself. This can take the pressure off and simultaneously nurture you. Yes. And then at the top here, I have surrender defensiveness. Defensiveness is a sign of weakness. To communicate in a more empowered way, stay centered and hear someone out. Then offer a clear, non-defensive response. Like, I feel like these surrender cards are speaking to both sides, to both people. Okay? So let me grab this other deck here. Oh! Okay. Because I need to grunt when I get up from the table, you guys. Okay. Where is that freaking deck? Here it is, I think. No, it ain't. Okay. Here it is. Here it is. Okay, pile number 3 went on a little bit longer than I anticipated. Okay. Okay, here we are. Being true to myself. Today I will honor, cherish, and love myself. When I get confused about what to do, I just have to remember that I need to be true to myself. I will break free of the hold that others and their expectations have on me. Taking time for meditation and prayer. Today I will take a moment for meditation and prayer. I know that I'm a creation of God, and He loves me. God, through meditation and prayer, I have faith that I will hear you when you talk to me, and you will listen when I talk to you. Oh yeah, totally. I feel like crying when I read that. I really do. It's very poignant. Approving of myself. Approving of myself. Today I will let go of my need for approval and my need to be liked. Instead, I will choose to like and approve of myself. The people who count, including me, will respect me when I am true to who I really am. There you go. A couple little flower petals, and then we're closing this down. Closing this out here. Go ahead, and if this is really resonating with you, I want you to go like drink a glass of water after this reading. Take a walk. You know what I mean? Like, I just had an image of water coming to mind, like cool, clear, running, like satiating water. Okay? I imagine going through this shit would be very exhausting and would garner a lot of tears, and when we cry a lot, that's very dehydrating. So I need you to go and drink some water after this, okay? Whether or not you've been crying, but just drink water. No. For Frisia, this will all be worthwhile. Okay. Cornflower, learn from friendships old and new. Hydrangea, focus on wholeness above and below. Tulip, you are worth what it is you desire. Alright. Pile number 3, that is all that I have for you, and I feel like that is plenty. So I wish you all the best of, I'm not even wishing you all the best of luck. I'm just sending you healing energy and loving vibes and, you know, holding you in heart and mind, and I will see you next time, okay? Mwah. Okay, love you. Bye-bye.